welcome along to a view from Section C with myself, Junior and Senior. Now, a few of you are probably sitting here thinking, if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, why have we got Fife colours on as the background? But it's no Fife colours, obviously. Nope. We are here to stand with Ukraine, obviously. I was a bit worried about doing it, to be honest with you, Larzo, because big bad Vlad might get wind of this and they might come after us as well.
Nah, what cares?
Fuck them.
No, everybody else is doing it, so
yeah,
we stand with them as well.
Just it's not, what's going on in the world just now. It kind of puts it in perspective, kind of what you do on the podcast and stuff. And you look at, we're still getting to go and watch hockey and still getting out and about and doing our own thing without having to live in bomb shelters and that under the ground and seeking refuge in other countries and that. So, yeah, good to see all the clubs have kind of rallied with it as well. Changed the colours of the logos. We've had flags out, the national anthems and stuff as well. So, yes, we stand with Ukraine as well. And, obviously this is just our little kind of token gesture to show that we're with them.
Yeah.
So, on to, more kind of better things for us. We'll just get straight into it with our reviews from the games over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, we've taken that little gap and we had a Flames and Flyers weekend, and we were also hoping for 4 points. Larzo, I think the Saturday wasn't really the best of performances by us.
It's probably one of those games where we instantly forgettable. Decent
just
crowd.
Wasn't all right.
No, it wasn't. It was the decent crowd as it shows there. Just under 1,500, 1,442 at the game. It was a decent crowd for a Saturday night. And really, we just did not get into the game at all.
No. So goals from Alex Ewing and McNulty in the first period. And you think going into 2-0 down, you think the game's still there for us. But second period, they got another goal. Third period, another 2, 10 minutes to go. Wee bit of a stramash with, as we like to call him, though, the pussy of the Guildford team. Jamal Watson, obviously, got his tatties for Spenny. Good old Doro getting in there. I still think at the time it wasn't as bad a hit in real time. When you watch back in real time, it looks like a bad hit on Garrigan, but got a spark your team and you've got a.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree. Yeah, no, definitely. I think he jumps into the hit. His elbow comes out. He knows that he's going to. To me, he's headhunting, and the reason he's headhunting is he knows it's a young Brit. He suddenly thinks he's got a big pair of balls, and the next thing he was left with a surface because he got leathered for Doro. That was when we seen El Loco Doro. That was it. He let go and he leathered him, and it couldn't have happened to a bigger shite bag. He's actually he actually reached out because they got pumped the next night.
Yeah, I saw it.
They see the tweet. I put it up. I said, I wonder if he's smug now. And he comes back with, "Yeah, you could have tagged me in, man. I could have, but I never."
He had Twitter
because don't have you on. I'd have been the same. You didn't even come on my radar any day of the week until we play you lot. But in saying that, right, what a game he had. Yeah. He had a really, really good game.
He strolled a bit nice, did he?
And that was the frustrating thing for me, that he strolled through the game. I think he had maybe 2 assists, maybe 3, but certainly going on what I looked at there, I could remember. He certainly assisted on the first 2 goals. But even after that, he went in for another big hit, but he pulled out it, and then he's given a winding the bench up, and I'm sitting thinking, somebody just go and do him again. Really go and do him again. And he gives it the championship belt stuff. And what? Come on, get a grip of yourself.
The one of the funniest things about that game was when obviously it kind of kicked off at the boards when Spencer's obviously getting his tatties, Charlie and someone else, I can't remember who it was, having a wee bit of handbags. And then there's Mo. There's Mo standing on the blue line, giving his glove a little shake as if to say to Lynn Skog, are you going to come down? Because, you know, and as I said to you at the time, I think Mo knew the game was gone at that point. And he thought, you know what, fuck it. Let's go. Like, let's. I'm done here.
I think
I would have loved to have saw it. I would have loved to have saw Mo go.
I think Mo had enough. I think he was. You're right. He was done for the night. He needed to let out some testosterone, and that was his opportunity. But the boy never took him up on it. I'm glad. I must admit, I'm not as whilst it's funny watching goalies fight, right? It's no funny if your goalie gets a hammer.
Oh, but
that's the
it's Mo. Mo wouldn't get a hammer.
Then he's been in. Listen, I know he was in Fife for a year or whatever it was. He was in Fife, right? Doesn't maybe mark him a tough guy. Like, let's be honest. It maybe marks him a first runner.
Maybe
he doesn't mark.
maybe he's got that extra finger. Kind of gave him the poke in the eye when he's fighting him.
Yeah, but
yeah,
the game
bad
was
night.
Instantly forgettable.
Yeah, bad night.
Just not at the races. We've always said it about Guildford. Dicker puts a good team on the ice.
Yeah.
Let's not get off it.
And a big shout out to Ailey Bev as well. Looking after Dickers when he fell off the bench and rolled his ankle. And seemingly it was bad. Like, even when he came back on the bench and asked him if he needed some of that paracetamol, and he was, please. Seemingly it was just boned right up. Must have been a bad one for him. I feel for him.
So do I. There's not a lot of coaches I feel for on that away bench, but Dickers is one. He's probably one of the coaches in the league that I didn't get abuse to.
No, he just, and the thing
he's
is,
just a likable guy, an absolute likable
give
guy.
Him abuse. He just stands there and takes it. He doesn't care. Like, you look at your Keefs and your Scalders and that; they'll all bite at least once or twice. He never bites, and if he does bite, it's because he's having a laugh with you about something.
The thing is, a lot of the guys that listen in are maybe new to the Stars and whatever. We've been going through the beginning, so we've been there when Dickers was a player. Never mind as a coach at Guildford. But we've
as well.
We've gave him it when he was a player. We gave him it as a coach, and then you sort of you're like, it's Dickers. What's the point? What's the point? And as I said, I've said it umpteen times about he's a really, really nice guy. He doesn't deserve it. But he put the team on the ice, they come up, they've done a job. Really disappointed. There was, I think, the only positive we got out of it was we're seeing what you could maybe say the ugly side of Spencer Dorovitz.
Yeah. I also think the only other good thing of it was the fact that there was the reaction the next night from it.
Yep.
Going into the barn, the old barn. So off to a quick start, Sebastian Bengtsson, assisted by Latin and Dow at 7:26. Power play goal, 13:39 by our boy Charlie Combs, assisted by Bengtsson and El Loco Doro. 37:49, another power play goal, Charlie Combs, assisted by Bengtsson and Michael Poirier. Consolation power play goal for former Stars man Matt Carter, assisted by Peacock and Blumenshine. And then icing on the cake, good old Gabe getting the monkey off the back. 57:32 in the power play, assisted by Poirier and Combs again. So Combs 2+1, Bengtsson 1+2. Poirier a couple of assists. It's good to see them all kind of jumping in on the night. But from what I seen on social media and what I heard from our fans that went, Shannon's stepdad, Stars were just all over them, and Fife just didn't look like they wanted it at all. Stars just nullified everything that they tried to do. And I think it comes from the response from getting pumped 5-0 at home from And Guildford, that was, as I said to you, that Guildford game was 120 minutes of hockey, and we hadn't scored a goal at home.
That's right.
And then we're going to do that the next night, 4-1.
Yeah. When we spoke on the sort of the preview of these games, we were like, we'll take 3 points out of 4.
Yeah.
When I thought maybe would win maybe the home game and take a point on the road because Fife had been playing not too bad at home, maybe no winning their games, but they were taking points. And you're on a bottle of doing for Guildford. You're going across there. It's probably not the best place to go after you've been humped at home.
Yeah.
But you go across and you go and do a number on them. The positive thing for me is the 3 power play goals. Because the power play it's been hot and cold over the season, probably more cold than hot, but it started to go again. And they needed a reaction. I think when I looked at the goals, I sort of watched the highlights, and what astounded me, first of all, was the crowd was only at 1,200. Even for a Sunday night, a Flyers home game against Stars only just getting over 1,200.
I know. It's crazy.
They are not happy a bunch across the road.
No.
They are definitely not happy. But the noise that came out when we scored, was very, very loud. But it certainly sounded very loud. That's for sure.
And you know what? And I actually think, I think I've been seeing the same at the home games as well, and we'll touch on it with the Steelers game and obviously kind of last night as well. But when we score, a big goal in the game, you're hearing the noise on the highlights. It's loud, and you don't think it's that loud at the rink.
It's a roar, rather than a cheer. It's a roar. It's like everybody's cheered at the same time, and it becomes a roar. But that game,
it was a marker for us. I think that was the kind of could be, obviously knowing the next kind of 3 results. I think that game was the Guildford game was the season defining moment for them. We need to get going, and we can't afford to slip up against the teams around with.
Yeah, totally agree.
So 2 points out the weekend, slightly disappointed, but
it just means you're a point down. You like to beat your rivals, right?
Yeah.
But you do not like to lose 5-0 in front of your own fans.
Yeah.
But we said it last week. Bounce back ability.
Yeah, bounce back ability, and then the news came out that Mo was injured and wasn't going to be playing that weekend against Sheffield. And listen, it was clear for everyone to see on social media. A lot of people were saying, I'm not going to get the webcast now. I'm not going to pay a ticket and that. I'm going to get pumped. We're going to get pumped. We've got the backup in. We're hot and cold just now. So we're coming to Sheffield with Mr. Priest, the Welsh dragon in the goal. And we go get a shootout victory in Sheffield. So
outstanding.
It was, and I think the thing is, I'll run through the goal scores and that here, but quick start for us, massively quick start for us. Charlie Combs assisted by Sonch and Dorowicz at 56 seconds, and then Connor Sills doubling the lead with an assist from one of our own, Chris Ingles, at 147. Sointu pulled one back for the Steelers at 5:33. They then equalised through Evan Mosey at 26:45. We go ahead again, 28:33. Again, a quick response. That's what we're looking at. Through Gabe, assisted by Combs and Ozils, the Latvian Chara.
The Latvian Chara.
Then we got in a bit of penalty trouble, and we ended up on a 5-on-3, and then 2 very quick power play goals to put Sheffield 4-3 up through your hockey friend, Robert Dowd. 37-59 and 38-16. Connor Sills with the equaliser, assisted by Dylan Lawrence at 56-52. And then obviously penalty shots. I think Sheffield only scored the one. And Dylan Lawrence obviously got our penalty shot to seal it. And what a penalty shot that was by Lawrence. It was, I think it was the fact he was still looked like he was in his stride forward, like he was going to make a move, and it was just, oh, there you go, through the legs. See you later. 2 points. Thanks.
I had when it's seen, obviously people were posting. Wow. They put the penalty shots up on Twitter, and I watched the penalty shots, and I seen obviously.
I was at a wedding watching the penalty shots.
I had to stop and rewind it. I had to go back and watch it again because it was that quick. I never seen the shot myself. So God knows how, what's his name, Big Rock was going to try and save it, because he came in and it was gone. And I was like, he's not even shot at you. How's? And then I went back away, and you're right. It's like he's still in stride
still
and back. But how often have we said that about Dylan Lawrence's wrist shot? How so quick he releases that?
So quick.
Yeah.
And again, he's not recently. He's been quite quiet with points production, but I still think he's one hell of a player for us.
Sure,
he's honestly, I want him. As well as be difficult to do it, but your Charlie Combs, your Spencer Dorowich, your Sonch, even Desjardins and Lawrence, they'd be the top 5.
I'll be honest
with you, getting in there.
I was thinking about this morning when I was going into work. I knew we had the podcast, and I was thinking about the team and where they are, and we'll touch on it probably because we've got 2 Steelers and then the Devils game. Where we are in the league, and you look at the team that we've got, right? Is there a lot of people that you would change? My answer is probably no. I would only, with the team that we've got now, I would maybe make a couple of tweaks, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm not. What I don't want to do is. What I don't want to do is go in it and say, "Oh, I'd keep him, and then eventually you're like, "Oh, so here's the guys he's getting rid of." But the first line at this point in time is outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Desjardins, Charlie Combs, and Doro are just outrageous just now. Some of the plays that are coming up with, some of the moves, they know exactly where one another's going to be.
Yeah. And it's funny because
you can also see that for the second line.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, Bengtson, Latanen, and Sonch have suddenly started going together.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at the third line, and everybody's got their thoughts on Quinn O'Brien, right? Let's be honest. He's not the type of player that I thought he was going to be, based on what normally we get for Rio. I'm fairly positive he's one of Rio's guys. I might be wrong, but I'm fairly positive he is. He's a grinder, right?
Yep.
There is no points production coming off him, but the guy could win face-offs, and he's a body. But all of a sudden, Connor Sills is now flying again.
Yep.
And Dylan's got the spring in his step again.
Yep.
And is it because of the way Quinn plays, and he's the guy that's taking the pressure off of them, and he's allowing them to play? So
I said that to Mikey Kidd the other day on Messenger, that although O'Brien's not been chipping in with goals or assists or that, he is bringing out the best in Connor Sills, I think, and it could just purely be from GG's hockey, from the University of Ottawa. They played there together, so it could just be that. They know how they play, they know how each other's strengths and how to get them going, and I've heard that O'Brien is he's very much a character in the changing room and on the bench. Gets the guys going. He's always chirping at them, getting them boosted in that. And it kind of reminds me a bit, talent-wise, not the same as this player, but he reminds me of AJ McLean.
Yeah.
That third-line grinder, play the penalty kill, log up the minutes on that. He's a team player. Yes.
He's a team player.
And he gets in the dirty areas, he'll throw a hit, maybe he'll fall off balance and maybe end up on his own arse after a hit, but he's still doing the dirty stuff that other players don't necessarily need to do, because he's on that line where he grinds. You look at the line of him and Sills like the other night, again last night, and we'll speak about it again later on. They were hitting boys all over the place.
Yeah.
And they didn't like it. So no, yeah, I get what you're saying. Another thing as well about that, about player stats on that first line. A lot of people complaining about, Charlie not passing the puck as much and maybe having to move the puck a bit more and being a bit greedy. And, I totally disagree with that. And his stats kind of disagree with that as well, that he's our highest assists in the team. He's the top point scorer, 3 assists, not 3 goals, 3 assists. So I would tend to disagree with that kind of comment. But for me, Combs, what all-round player, he's absolutely fantastic.
But the game that we're speaking about, it's about the big fella, is it?
Big Priest. I don't think anybody. Nobody thought we were going to get 2 points.
Well, I'll maybe dispute that. I'll probably say the team thought.
Yeah, he thought it. Yeah,
they thought, because they went and did it. We probably thought, I'm not
any guys. For a point here.
I probably thought the worst when I seen it, but I wasn't going to come out and I just put on it. Oh, this could be a long weekend. That's up. It could be a long weekend.
Yeah, and again, and I'd say, and it's no. We'll come on it again for the next 2 games, and it's no disrespect to Britton, but it's Britton's not had a lot of ice time this year, if next to any. In games that we were saying that he probably should have went in to get him game ready. He's then had to go into this game, and I honestly think, hats off to him. He's got the wins, but the team have stepped up massively to support him. See if I honestly, and this is not a criticism of the team, but the team know they can rely on Mo to make some unbelievable saves. We've seen it. He's in the top 5 saves of the week, God knows how many times this season. So they can rely on him at times to make a mistake. They make a mistake, they know they've got a young laddie standing behind them that they need to help out more.
Yes.
And Britton, great job over the 3 games. And if Mo is out longer term, I guarantee Britton will do a great job going forward in the next few games as well.
Yeah.
But the team have stepped up massively to support Britton, and I think that's been the difference over kind of the last few games for us getting the wins.
They've had to, and they know that. Yeah. They know that. They're no daft, right? You're 100% right. You've got a Canadian goalie behind your D. The expectation, yes, the expectation is if the forwards get past them, then the expectation is the big Canadian import's going to sign that. Going to save this, right? Yeah. That's the expectation. But when you've got a young Brit in the goal who's had hardly any ice time with us, Saturday was his first real start for us.
Yep.
They have had to go up a level. They've had to concentrate more. They've had to actually play the correct way. They had a game plan. They stuck to it. And what helped is the 2 quick goals right at the start, because that's a game changer for us.
Yeah.
Because Sheffield have to open up to then come at us.
Yeah. And then, so we go into the next night thinking, right, you know what, we've got 2 points in Sheffield. We're happy with that. We said that the previous one, split it.
Let's split it.
And then we go and get another victory.
Then we decide, you know what, let's go and blow the league open because 3 teams at the top of the league. You had Sheffield, Belfast and Cardiff, and we're probably thinking Belfast are the team that we like because we've got our mates there.
So, so to be fair, and I think Britton did laugh at this one coming off at the end of the second period, and we're going to have a laugh now about it, right? Brandon somehow managing to get a goal, an open goal, as we all celebrated. Britton went off for a wee skate to the side, to the boards, as if to say, right, good, we're 1-0 ahead here, let's get focused, get going, get in at the end of the second period, 1-0 up. But we're 1-0 down. So, give Toby Craig the benefit of the doubt. It was a no-goal. Everyone in the arena celebrated it. Everyone on the ice celebrated it. The bench celebrated it.
Yeah, I'm sitting laughing about it because I turned round. Yeah, I turned round to the likes of Mike and Billy and Arlene and Steph and Ryan and that, and I was like, this is going to be funny if we watch the highlights and Abdi's raging, and we're like, yeah, shit, Toby Craig was right. And guess what?
I know.
Toby Craig was right.
Brandon Whistle at 34-23, assisted by Sam Jones as well. Dylan Lawrence on the power play, 49-04, assisted by Sills and Dorwich. And then the Latvian Chara.
Here he comes.
Here comes the boom
yeah.
of a slap shot from the face-off circle at 63-15. Power play goal assisted by Dryden Dow and Timmy Lahtinen.
Yeah.
2-1 victory against Sheffield. A 4-point weekend.
4-point weekend
against the league leaders, which resulted in Belfast overtaking them.
Yeah.
Which was good to see because
I
hate Sheffield.
If Taft's listening, you're welcome, buddy.
Yeah, you're welcome, Taft.
And then we'll get to the next game as well, and you can welcome us again.
Yeah, Keithers, as much as we give you shit, you're welcome as well, mate. But yeah, so big weekend there. 4 points.
Massive weekend.
Made up for the Guildford game.
Definitely.
Kind of balances itself out in the end.
We big. I'm just going to keep calling him Chara. The big Chara's goal. If you notice the one before it, Dryden had lined him up before it, and he went near post.
Yep.
And what's his name? Is it Stojankovic or something? Big Rock.
Stojanovic. Rock Stojanovic.
He just got there. Got there and no more, and saved it. Great save. But then we get the puck back and we go back round again. And Dryden sets him up again. And this time Big Rock gets across there, but he goes far post. Outstanding. Great reading of the game by the players. They go front post, they get it back again. The goalie's skate. He's thinking he's going for exactly the same shot. But then he goes the opposite way.
Yeah.
Outstanding. And again, what a celebration, by the way. He loved that.
Also, a bit like Charlie Combs' goal last night, went right in the top titty, top shelf. Oh, beautiful. But yeah,
delighted.
one thing from the game that I had to question, and I spoke to a couple of people about this as well, was Kyle Haas's 5-minute major.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is a rule or not, but if you're getting a 5-minute major for it, I assume it was always a 5+ game, unless it's changed. But when I saw him sitting there, I thought, okay, maybe he's been given a 2+10 for it.
Yeah.
But it was the 5+ game. Now, we drew a penalty from it. They got a 2-minute as well from it for the guy trying to come after Kyle. What he was going to do, I don't know.
Yeah.
But at that point, it shouldn't have been 5 minutes and 2 minutes on the clock. It should have been a 3-minute power play for Sheffield.
Yeah.
And then their player came out at the first stoppage after the 2 minutes, and then Kyle came out at the first stoppage after these 5 minutes. But I thought if it's a 5-minute, I thought you're kicked out.
So did I. I was surprised at that.
So I don't know.
It was only 5 minutes. But you know what? It depends on what the refs have deemed, because to me,
he was turning into it.
Yes, you took the words out of my mouth. I think that the hit was coming in, and the guy's seen him, and he's turned his back on him, and Kyle can't go any other place. And I'm just wondering if maybe that had something to do with it. That's why it was only major, and he probably only got the major because he drew blood.
Yeah. So yeah.
But then you've got what's his name? Is it Latal? His name is
Latal, yeah.
And he wants to go and fight Kyle Haas. Come on. Is it?
And then
has he got a death wish?
He went after somebody else later in the game. And I think it was either Garrigan or Rutgers or something. It was one of the young Brits.
He became an angry man. He really became an angry wee man at that point. But
who cares? 4-point weekend
from Sheffield. Thank you very much.
Definitely. Which brought us on to last night's game, and one that we were all looking forward to. Larzo, purely for you.
Yeah.
Just the return of the Moonhowler.
Outstanding.
And then we also had another wee Moonhowler. We had Mr. Carruth tried to get involved with that last night.
Yeah, but
and then realised he made an arse.
Yeah, I did. Wee McNally, right? we knew, right? As soon as he stepped on the ice, he got it, right? And he kept himself to himself. He was quiet. He didn't get involved with anything. And then when the game started to get away from him, he started.
Yep.
He started coming out. He was blowing kisses to the crowd, and you're thinking, wait a minute, you're getting bit here.
I know.
And it was the same with CARDIFF, who starts howling when they score, but they're still getting beat 2-1.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, now, if you went 2-1 up, you could sit and howl, but you're getting beat 2-1 and you're sitting howling. There's something no right about that Cardiff team. Something no right about them.
No. So, a 5-3 victory for the Stars last night. Again, relatively quick start for us. 5:23 goal from Gabriel Desjardins, assisted by, again, Mr. Combs and the Latvian Chara. Gabe then put us 2-0 up, 13-13, assisted again by Combs and Dorwich. Riley Brandt pulled one back on a very, very soft call at 18:36. And I actually said this to you last night. If they get power plays, they'll score. Yeah. This was the issue we had to watch. Charlie Combs, 37-27 on the power play, assisted by Michael Poirier. Mark Richardson, again, on another soft call, I thought, on the power play, 39-41. And then going into the third period, Spencer Dorwich, 41-59 in the power play, assisted by Dylan Lawrence, Dryden Dow. Trevor Cox, 51-40, gave them a little bit of hope. But then the wee man himself, Philippe Songe, jumping back in with the goal there, assisted by Bengtson and Latin. And I was really surprised that was Seb's only point last night, because he was all over the ice. But
I think he hit the post. I know that. He pinned it off the post. He had a few
last night.
Yeah, he had a few close calls that Seb he liked, but
relatively decent crowd as well for a Wednesday night. 1,056.
Yeah, I thought that, just over 1,000.
And Dundee being at home as well.
So
it was a decent crowd.
It's no bad crowd for a Wednesday night.
That's what I'm saying. Decent crowd. Wednesday night, Dundee at home.
It was students' night. I don't know. I think it was any of the student games. I'm not 100% sure, but
I never really, 5 for 6.
I never knew. I didn't really see like groups of new people. You tend to see groups of new people at games. There might have been a few up. If they were, great. Hopefully they'll come back. Tell other mates at uni and they'll come back up again. But what a performance again.
Yeah.
I said it to you that we are now back playing pre-COVID Christmas or pre-Christmas COVID. That we're back. The beliefs there. I listened to Scalda's interview. I expected a few excuses, but we never got it.
Yeah. We got. Trying to figure that out. Hit there pre-COVID Christmas, pre-Christmas COVID.
So you got. Is it pre-Christmas COVID? I think it's pre-Christmas COVID, is it? Yeah. COVID pre-Christmas. We talk some shite on here, don't we?
Oh my God!
Anybody if anybody's listening, please feel free to go on at the socials, right, and come up with, is it pre-Christmas COVID? Is it COVID pre-Christmas? Is it pre-Christmas COVID? Is it Christmas COVID pre whatever?
Oh my God!
I tell you.
I know. Well, it's you. I'm just laughing at you.
So, but before Christmas,
before Christmas, before Christmas protocol,
we're back playing, and to me it looks like the team's got a belief. But for last night, the thing that got me was someone like 39 seconds into the game, someone like that, looks down to the right-hand corner, and big Mark Lewis has got the gloves off, and Kyle's got the gloves off, and then you just see Kyle going in to the boxing stance, and I'm thinking, I hope he's no better from there than he could chew.
Mm-hmm.
And he never. So the guy, in my opinion, who was the toughest in the league, Mark Lewis, is no longer the toughest in the league. I think Kyle has just taken over the spot.
Yeah,
honestly, I'm not caring what anybody says. To me, Kyle Haas is now the toughest guy in the league.
Yeah, for me, Louis didn't land any punches. Okay, I don't think he actually threw any punches.
I think they maybe got. I think they got a couple of overhands each.
Yeah, I think Kyle got
a couple. Kyle hit him with one, and it did knock him off. I think I hit him in the helmet, but
Yeah,
it really
and
just
that was
knocked
the
him
kind
up.
of the grapple down to the
That was
ice.
it. Yeah.
And I think, you know, it's not like a clear win for anyone, but I would say that it was Kyle's win. You know, and again, you know, Lee was off, had to cut his glove open to tape up his fingers and get them in his gloves, so he's also got broken fingers. Kyle went off for some repairs on his hand, looked like he was fine the rest of the game.
Yep.
But yeah, reiterate that Kyle Haas, toughest player in the league.
And I must admit, I'm liking the way Kyle's playing this now.
Yeah,
he's going about his business first and foremost as a D-man.
Yeah,
and I think now, and signings and I think, and it's unfortunate, but Marcus going and bringing in another right-hander has balanced the D out, and I think they've now got the pairings probably correct. I think Kyle and Mursey are playing well together. Dryden and Chara are playing well together. I just wish Big Chara would use and really be like Chara, let's be honest. But we're calling him Chara because of a slap shot.
There's been a couple of times over the last, certainly the Sheffield game, and certainly last night, it was like he went up to hit the boy, but then instead of leading through, it was just like a wee push, and I was like, you got to steamroll him there. Like, just go through him like a big boy.
Yeah, but, he's obviously not that type of D-man.
No, you know what? He's just a steady stay-at-home D-man who has a hell of a shot on him.
That's all you need to. But with Kyle, it's D first. If the rough stuff happens, you know he's there.
Yep.
And what it does, and you seen it last night, we were so aggressive last night after that fight. Silsey was hitting boys. O'Brien started hitting boys.
Yeah.
And then near the end of the game, the Moonhiller starts to bite because Charlie's chirped him.
Sorry, hold on. The Moonhiller.
That's him. Yeah. He starts chirping, right? And Charlie's having the field day with him.
Yeah.
And at one point, I'd noticed that McNally had went back again. And as he went back towards Charlie, Eric, have you noticed that Kyle stepped on the ice?
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, if it was going to kick off, Kyle was going in. Regardless of the penalties he was going to get. But Omar just, because I seen him going and I looked down and I just seen Omar going, Kyle, come on. And he went back on the bench. He just sat on the bench. But I don't know if other players have seen it, Cardiff players seen it, but Kyle stepped on the ice and then he stepped off the ice. And then that was it. It was gone. But
yeah, no, I do like Kyle's game.
Great performance. But again, I don't care if you listen to Omar's.
You know what? I started listening to it last night, right? And there was he was very unenthusiastic, I thought, when they asked how it was. It was like, yeah, it was a good game. And I was just like, oh, okay, I'm not going to listen now. And I was just going to be all happy and chirpy.
He was.
Was he? The first couple of seconds, it seemed a bit deflated.
No, he was. He did say that we gave up maybe so many odd rushes that we shouldn't have. And Britton made some great saves to keep winning the game at times, which he did. And he was absolutely spot on. But for me, we were so aggressive last night, they didn't care what hit them.
They did not hated it. They hated it.
They don't like it. They are a good hockey club, right? Let's be honest with you, right? And Omar kept saying it, and you know what? That was maybe one thing that it just sort of bothered us a wee bit. He kept getting on about, you know, they've got high-end players, they've got high-end offense, they've got high-end that, and I'm thinking, you know what? So the fuck do we? We've got a high-end offense, right? When you've got the three guys on the first line, we say that Gabe, Spencer, and Charlie, when they're flying, they're up there with the best in the league. I'm telling you now, they're up there with the best in the league.
Yeah, you know, you put over 2 games anyway. You've scored 5 against Cardiff in that one last night, and you put 4 against Sheffield in Sheffield. You know, 9 goals.
11 goals. 11 goals
Another
over
2 against Sheffield is 11, 4 in Fife as well, after being shut out in the past 2 home games.
Yeah.
You know, and even the weekend before that, Manchester, 6 goals in Manchester.
Yeah.
So
it's suddenly when that offense clicks, that offense clicks.
Yeah. So again, what performance? Who would have thought we'd be sitting here 2 weeks later saying 8 out of 10 points?
It's ridiculous. And
we are the form team again.
Yeah. And who would have thought, right, that from last Saturday, I think it was, just before we played Sheffield, that we would be sitting saying, we've got Sheffield, Cardiff, we've Britain in the goal,
maximum.
And you take maximum points.
You take
absolute
maximum points.
Kudos to the young guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
You take maximum points, and it makes it look like this.
Yeah.
Dundee Stars up to 6th place.
Up to 6th place. Level on points, we Coventry.
Yep.
They've got a game in hand.
Yep.
But we're about to play them soon.
Twice.
Yeah.
Both at
Glasgow.
home.
Yeah. Glasgow becomes a big games as well now for this weekend.
Yeah. So both those games. Both those games are 4-pointers now.
Yeah.
And then obviously, so yeah, 1 point ahead of Glasgow level in games, 3 ahead of Guildford with 2 games in hand.
I know.
8 points ahead of Manchester and who are in 9th, and that's the biggest one for me to make the playoffs. You know, keeping them down there. So 8 points ahead of them with 2 games in hand still, and then 11 points ahead of Fife with 2 games in hand.
I think we said this. The other week. I think it's really crazy that after the number of games that we played at the start of the season, that we are now one of the teams who have played some of the least games in the season.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Glasgow have now caught up with us with the number of games played. Fife have now overtook us by 2.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, and I know that we had a couple of COVID protocols where we missed games, but prior to the COVID, we'd actually probably played the most games in the league from everybody else. But
we've caught up, and you know, we've got a couple of games in hand now. Everyone else is caught up. We're sitting in a very good position. That's what we were saying. We were hoping for 5th. You know,
we said 6th. Yeah, we said 6th as a minimum. That this team is capable of finishing as a minimum 6th in the league.
Yeah,
we took out the top 4, but we included Nottingham in the top 4. Yeah. Nottingham are now catchable.
Yeah, so we are catching them. I'm telling you now, we are fucking catching Nottingham.
Yeah, 4th, 5th, or 6th. I'm taking that. Yeah, and there's a few guys. Taff was one of them, who had said on social media after the results. I think it was just after the Sheffield games. Nobody really wants Dundee in the playoffs.
No.
Nobody wants us in the playoffs.
No. So, looking ahead, we have our next couple weekends games. So, Clan doubleheader, as we said, that is a 4-point. It's a 4-point weekend for us, must be, but both games are 4-point games now.
Let's split them.
If you split it, fine. You know, nothing changes between ourselves and Glasgow.
Yeah,
but
minimum.
Yeah, I think, you know, for me, I think if we're going to push on, we need to win both games.
They're a good team, eh? I'm not caring. They got pumped 8-1 last night.
I know, that was a shocker, was it?
But they're capable of getting the results like that against them. They got 8 in Guildford. They got 8 in Coventry now. It could be the bus. It could be the travel down, as their travel preparation is correct, stuff like that. I don't know. I didn't really care. I love seeing them getting pumped like that. And I hope that we do it as well. I really do. I hope we pump them like that twice. Yeah. But they are still a good team.
Yeah. So, split it at worst case. But hopefully get the 2 wins in what are 4-point games coming at the, as you say, the business end of the season. You know.
What happens with the goalie? We don't know.
Yeah.
Will Mo be back? Will Griffin be back?
I'm assuming he's still out. I still don't think he's training yet, from what the guys have said. That
what I will say is I'm a lot more confident now going into games after seeing the last 3 games with Britain in the goal. A lot more confident. I've got every confidence that he'll backstop us to more wins whilst Mo's it. And I think Britain knows, and I know there's debates on Facebook and the supporters group and everything. When Mo comes back, Mo's in the goal. Right? Let's not sugarcoat this. Right? Mo will not be sitting on the bench when he comes back. Mo will stay in.
Unless he's not game ready.
Unless he's not game, yes. But if he's 100% fit,
yes,
he plays. It's as simple as that. People are saying that it could be like football. Once you get the jersey, you stay in. That's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. No. Mo, once he's ready, he's back in the goal. The good thing for us is the way Britain's playing at the moment, and Mo's injured, whatever it is, it's giving him a wee break now.
Yeah.
And let's get him back ready for the sort of the nitty-gritty. There's games that we're not going to touch on here, right? But we spoke about it before we come on there. There's something like 3 weekends where we play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Mm-hmm. And in between some of them, I think there's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Then a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Something daft. I was looking at the fixtures this morning at work. It is something daft that the way our running comes in. It might be useful that because the way Britain's playing, Omar might be able to chop and change if Mo's back. Yeah. Instead of I've got to go with Mo. Doesn't need to go with Mo. He could rest Mo. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, and the other thing as well is I don't think, we've seen the injuries that we had this year. Numerous injuries this year, and the staff, as in Ailey is the physio and stuff like that. We don't rush guys back, so I don't think we'll be rushing Mo back if he's not ready yet.
No, definitely not.
You look how long
Ronjay's been
in and out for. Yeah, Ronjay's been in and out the squad, and they've taken the precautions. Omar, Ailey, Dr. Linda, and that as well. Obviously, they're all in communication with each other. They won't rush him back, and they don't need to. As we say, they don't need to rush him back now. The way Britain's playing him, how the team are protecting him. So, it's good to see.
Speaking of Ronjay, I think Omar said he was close to coming back.
Yeah, I believe he is. Which will be interesting to see what happens when he does return. Obviously, if Mo's out, we're fine. They've still got. He is the 14th import. Would be Ronjay.
Yeah.
But if Mo is back, it'd be interesting to see. Do we drop a certain player, or do we rotate players that are maybe carrying some niggles, or do we spell Ronjay at times? Yeah, interesting to see. But Clan double header.
I'm going to go on a rant now because this is about the league, right? And this league really pisses me off, right? That we've got X amount of imports, and Mo goes out. Let's say Mo's out. Ronjay could come in, and Ronjay could play. We could go. We are the imports that we can. Yet the friend of the show, Robo, his young lad, can't even get a game. Can't even sit on the bench.
I know.
It's absolutely mental that we are meant to be the UK elite league, and British players cannot sit on the fucking bench. I've never been a believer in what's going on in this country with the leagues. It's just so stupid. And I'd be saying the same. Listen, we've kept Robo for a long time, right? I'm not saying because young lad. I'd be saying the same if it was Craig that had to sit out.
Yeah.
Garrigan that is. If it was Rutkus that had to sit out, if Chris Ingles had to sit out, if any of the Brits had to sit out, you'd be like, this is ridiculous. This is a British league.
Yeah.
Right? No, they guys should be able to sit there. You can't. You sign boys to play 4 lines, but you can't get 4 lines.
Yeah.
Different if you're trying to fill your team with imports. So that's my rant. Over. Done.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Fucking elite league. Idiots.
Yeah. But so Giants. we'll hope for the best.
Did you
for that
see
one.
that coming up? Right. If anybody's watching this,
nobody gets to see it. Nobody gets to see it. That's why it's a private chat, you dick.
No caring. Right. No caring. Unprofessional Junior has just got a message coming up. Your tea's nearly ready.
No, you fucking noob. I sent you the message privately on this, you idiot.
Twat.
Oh, honestly, this is what happens when Lardo goes off on his rant. He wastes more airtime and we need to get off again. But no, Giants.
Clan, 4 points, done. Move. Giants, 2 points. Blaze, 2 points. Here we go. 8-point weekends coming up.
Giants, different kettle of fish for me, especially in Belfast. Listen, we've won there this season. There's no reason why we can't win there. But with the way they're playing, it's could go either way. It could be a close game.
Yeah.
You know, we could win by a couple. They could blow us out the water. It could go any way. It depends on what Belfast team turns up and if we're ready for that Belfast team to turn up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'll quote Omar. They've got high-end offense.
They've got high-end offense.
They've got high-end
and a high-end bloody goalie in Beskarawane. So Blaze, 2 points is a must.
Yeah. It's a home game, so it has to be. It has to be 2 points, but they showed last night what they could do.
Yeah. So
can't get complacent. Certainly not get complacent.
No. 8 points up for grabs over the next 2 weekends.
Right. So I'll take a split.
For a minimum of 5.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I would take a split over the Clan. I would take 2 points for Coventry and hope for something out of Belfast.
Listen, I'll accept the 4.
I'll accept
I'll
it.
accept the 4.
I'll accept it as well. Yeah.
But no, I'm thinking, you know, if we can get a point in Braehead, win at home, beat Blaze, we've got our 5, and that puts the rest of them on notice again and say, shit, Dundee are stepping up here.
Yep.
But yeah, so
exciting times ahead, Junior. It's getting to the business end of the season now, and there'll be a lot more twists and turns.
Yeah, definitely. So fingers crossed, we're sitting here again with smiles on our faces after some great performances,
and possibly a quiz.
Possibly a quiz. Yeah, we're coming up with a new quiz.
The return of the quiz.
Yeah, Larso's getting a bit jealous. He's still sitting down there on next to no points.
Well, I'm just glad that your lead's not extended. Stays the same. It's been the same for weeks.
But on that note, hopefully we're sitting here 2 weeks' time in 5th place.
Yeah, you never know.
That's it. We're going for it. 5th place in 2 weeks' time. We'll see you there.
Yeah. Have a good one.